the Victoria's Black Swan Inn, a notorious hotspot of the paranormal activity here in San Antonio, Texas, as well as a known spot of very many deaths, including past owners and the current owner's own mother, who was contacted during an EVP session. Today, we're going to explore the history and some of the paranormal activity that has happened at this location, along with my tour guides, the Curious Twins. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, welcome to today's video. I'm here at the Victoria's Black Swan Inn with the Curious Twins today, who are going to take me on a tour. And I'm going to give these guys an opportunity to let you viewers know what they got going on and about their tours.
Well, thank you guys for having us. Thank you for touring with us. We are only offering private tours at this time during COVID-19, but we are booking them all the time. We're looking forward to the kind of our Halloween season. It's going to be a little different this year, but it'll be a lot of fun. And I think the best part of doing these private tours is you kind of get like that one-on-one attention. You can ask all the weird questions. You can be a weirdo, and you don't have to be that weirdo in the back. You can be up in the front, you know.
Heck yeah.
So it can be a lot of fun.
Sweet, awesome, sweet deal, guys. Well, that sounds good. Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was close.
Some paranormal stuff, right? Well, my name is Fred, and the other tour guide with us tonight is going to be Steven. And so we're going to take you on a little bit of the tour of Victoria's Black Swan Inn that is adjacent to the Walls and Creek, pretty much right on the side and in back of us. And then it's also adjacent to the Salado Creek, which is in front of us. It was first settled, it would be 1867, and that was actually settled by a pair of German and Swiss immigrants. All the stuff that they built on the property, it's no longer here to this day, but in 1887 it was settled by another couple. This was a German couple, and this couple would actually kind of create the Blue Bonnet Dairy Farm. What they did is in 1887 they built the home. The oldest part of the home is right in here. That part does date back to 1887, but the rest of it is more of a little bit of a modern introduction into architecture here, which would kind of begin in the 1920s and continue on. We do know that Native Americans were inhabiting this space for really thousands of years. Archaeologists believe that it had been inhabited for probably about 5,000 to 10,000 years. So it's a lot of our history, much more than, of course, the small history of San Antonio, which is just a little bit over 300 years. And then actually where the property sits today, it is believed that it sits on an old ancient burial ground, which does date back probably about 5,000 years ago. And so if you kind of look straight out this way, you're going to notice that we're kind of on a hill. It may be hard to see with this light, but we're literally really quite above where the street level is right now. And so it was thought that this was used as a burial mound. And in case you don't know a lot about burial mounds, it was a very popular way of burying our dead here in the city of San Antonio. The way they did this is somebody would pass away in the tribe. They would just take that body, they would put it directly on the ground, and then they would take dirt and rock from another area, they would put that on the ground, and they would just stack as people died. It literally changed the outlook, the way that we would actually see the landscape of San Antonio today. Another way that the dead were being kind of disposed of at that time is they would put them in shallow waters, and they would allow animals to come and eat off of it. Very easy way of that human body going back into nature and being part of that food supply and continuing the cycle of life. And so that would have actually been just around the corner over here on those couple of creeks that are very near us. But also, during this time before it was settled, we actually had two battles on the property. And so the very first battle is referred to as the Dawson's Massacre. And the very last of those battles was 1842, September 18th, and that is referred to as the Battle of Salado. And the Battle of Salado was very different from the Dawson's Massacre because this time the Texians really prevailed over the Mexican army. And the Texians killed 60 members of the Mexican army that day, and one member of the Texian army did pass away, and his name is Stephen Jett. And we do believe that Stephen Jett is still around this property. Stephen Jett seems to be a little bit of a perv.
But in the year 1867 is when we start seeing the first white settlers move to this space. And this was Betsy and Sebastian Ripstein. Now, 20 years after they started owning the property, we have the Mahler family come in. And this is Heinrich or Henry Mahler and his wife Marie Mahler. And they really developed this space to be a dairy farm. Now, there is another piece of property that we know that they built that is still here today. And that is a milking barn that is in the rear part of that property. And it is believed that Henry or Heinrich Mahler does inhabit that space. He is known to be a little bit more aggressive to men than to women. And it seems like he is just very kind of present in that space. Now, the Mahler family, they had two children that I want to mention. One is going to be a daughter named Sophia or Sophie Mahler. Now, she actually lived until the age of 82, and she died on this property. And it is believed that she likes to come back and visit. But however, she does not come back as an 82-year-old woman. It is believed that she comes back as an 8-year-old girl. But it's kind of interesting to think about what happens to us in the afterlife. When we come back and visit the places that we love, do we come back at the age in which we died, or perhaps we come back in the age that we were our most fabulous? And maybe that is why Sophie or Sophia likes to come back as a child. Blanche Woods, and she left the home to her daughter Jolene Wood Street in the year 1953. And this is where we have a little bit of controversy, a little bit of salacious things happening on this property. Both Jolene Wood Street and her husband Hall Park Street Jr., they were very well-known socialites in the city of San Antonio. Now, both of them, Hall Park Street Jr. and Jolene Wood Street, would face untimely ends. The first to pass would be Jolene Wood Street in the year 1959. Now, she passed. The official cause of death on her death certificate will say breast cancer. However, there was some controversy surrounding her death because in the days prior to her passing, she was found at the bottom of a staircase inside the home. It wasn't really clear how she ended up on the bottom of those staircases, but there was a lot of rumors that perhaps she was pushed, maybe she fell. Now, Jolene is believed to come back and visit this space, and we'll talk a little bit more about her haunts a little bit later on the tour. Now, several years after her passing, Hall Park Street Jr., he would remarry, and he would move on to another property with his second wife. Now, he would also face an untimely end in the year 1965. Now, the official cause of death on his death certificate would say death by asphyxiation, and the papers wrote about it as a suicide. Now, the way that he was found was very peculiar because he was found with a necktie around his neck. He was tied to the bedpost, but he was also found with his hands tied behind his back. And so that type of suicide was very, very strange for somebody to have their hands tied together, but also to have been hung by a necktie. Now, another one of the strange things around his death was that the coroner at the time wrote up in his report that he believed that the body had been tampered with, that it had been moved from one location to that location. Another very strange thing was that his second wife, after his passing, had made a statement to the police and said that she did not notice that he was missing until he did not come down for breakfast. That specific language did not come down for breakfast was peculiar because they only had a one-story home. Now, both Jolene Wood Street and Hall Park Street Jr. have connected with Joanne Rivera, the current owner. And there's one instance I want to share with you, and this is a communication session that they had with Jolene. Now, in this session, people were asking in the group, they wanted to know why Jolene was still here. Why was she still haunting this space? And somebody asked in the group, why are you stuck here, Jolene? And in an audio recording, in EVP, they got a very clear response that said, I am not stuck here, this is my home. And very shortly after that, they got another response that said, this is your home too, Joanne. Now that phrase, this is your home too, was so significant to the current owner, Joanne Rivera, that she actually had it inscribed into a piece of jewelry. That leads me to the final spirit I want to share with you guys, and that is going to be the spirit of Joanne's mother. Now, Ghost Adventures actually filmed an episode here several years back, and the filming of this episode took place the year after Joanne's mother, Faye, passed away. Now, before Faye passed, Joanne and her had a very serious conversation, and they wanted to come up with a code word. Because Joanne had been dealing with so many haunts, and she thought, if I get this one word, I know that this is going to be you, Mom, and not any of the other spirits here. And that word was Bozier. Now, during the filming of that Ghost Adventures episode, that word Bozier did come up. And one of the beautiful things that we've come to know as investigators is that people who have no connection to this space, because of all of the activity that goes on, they're able to connect with their own personal loved ones who really have never been here before.
All right, so whenever we share ghost hunting skills or spirit communication skills with other people, the first thing that we do share is that you really don't need very many fancy tools to do those things. The most important tool that you're gonna have, you're already access to, is gonna be your body. And so it's really important before you go into a space to kind of get in touch with your body, get in tune with your body, and kind of be aware of your senses. Your 5 senses are all good indicators that perhaps there's some paranormal activity. So, do you hear something? Do you smell something? Does your hair stick up on the back of your neck? Those are all good indicators that perhaps there's some paranormal activity. But if you are going to use some tools, we have a few that we can show you how to use. Now, the first is going to be a temperature reader. Very easy to use. All you got to do is point and shoot, and wherever you're pointing is wherever the temperature is reading. Something you may have also seen in kind of the ghost shows or the ghost hunting stuff is going to be EMF detectors. So these are electromagnetic field detectors. So these are dowsing rods. Some people call these divining rods. So kind of similarly, we have, these are kind of similar in spirit communication tools. This is a pendulum.
All right, guys. Well, I got my tools. Got my bag of tools here. Now I'm gonna go to the Psychomantium because that was one of the most interesting parts of this. Alright guys, so this is gonna lead us to the Psychomantium back here where he said people come to mourn. It's a room that is used for mourning. This is really creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, I'm honestly thinking about sitting in the chair. I'm getting a really eerie feeling sitting here. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is really creeping me out. My camera's about to die as well, so I'm gonna switch to my phone camera here in a minute. But yeah, this is my opportunity to come and do a little bit of investigating myself. Oh, I'm sweaty. Alright, I just heard oh, the door is trying to open. Alright, let's see if I can get that. The door just tried to open there. Okay. That was a little creepy. I'm turning on the EMF detector right now. Alright, so I'm set up with that. Ooh, I'm sweating like a pig. Alright, no jumps just yet. Kind of nervous to communicate, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to this stuff. Right, so these are working. Okay. I don't know what to ask. Did you enjoy living in San Antonio? Yes, awesome. Are you proud of the legacy that this house has connected to it? Does it make you excited? Ooh, we got a spike. Does it make you excited when new people come around? Wow. Well, thank you for talking to me today and allowing me to communicate. Alright. Alright guys, I'm going to be changing up my camera gear now because my camera is dying. But we're going to go out to the milk barn. Alright, we're headed to the milk barn now. Oh. Yep.
Kind of an Americanized Henry, but Heinrich was his German name, and the last one was Mahler.
Ooh, it's going off. Alrighty. Mr. Mahler, if you're here, let it be known. Ooh, I feel like I should back up out of here. Okay. Let's see. The EMF at 0. This is the milk barn. So were you a farmer? Alright. A little bit creeped out there. Alright, so this is going to be the room of the owner's mother. And I'm just going to ask her a couple questions in here. Alright. Is this where Joanne's mother's spirit has passed on? Alright, that's a yes. Alright guys, I'm back home now, and I had a great experience at the Black Swan with the Curious Twins. It was awesome. I definitely recommend you guys booking a tour with them, because not only did I get 1 hour of tour time, but I also got 1 hour of paranormal investigation time that I wish I had someone else with me so I wouldn't have been so scared. I'm pretty sure they allow 2 people at a time, but next time I definitely will have someone with me, because I'm definitely going to be booking another tour with these guys so that I could get some more good content. It was awesome. I'm definitely glad that y'all made it this far into the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because it'll help a lot, and you won't miss out on any future content if you hit that bell button as well. Alright everybody, stay tuned for more.